So I was doing everything I can. And as the days went by, nothing wasn't working. I wasn't getting no phone calls or anything. Until one day, someone called. In this video, I'm explaining to you how I manifested a dream job using one of Neville Goddard's manifestation techniques. Now, in one of my other videos, I explained how I manifest enough money to pay my rent. Now, in that video, somebody made a comment, how did you pay your other expenses? Because all I talked about was getting enough money to pay my rent. Now, I did have other expenses that were past due, and I did need money for that because I did not have a job. I still did not have a job after I manifested enough money to pay my rent. So I'm explaining to you how I pay my other expenses, which is me getting a dream job. But it was kind of funny how this happened. So before I get into the story, I just want to say thank you for getting this channel to over 100 subscribers. When I first made that video where I talked about manifesting enough money to pay my rent, I had like 20 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you for over 100 subscribers that I have now. The goal is still 1,000 subscribers, so please help me get there by just hitting that subscribe button right now. Now let's get on with the story. So in that video, I was able to manifest enough money to pay my rent. It didn't happen like that. It took about 4 or 5 days after I started using one of Neville Goddard's technique, which was I remember when. So I was thinking, let me use that same technique to pay my expenses. Now, one of my bills that I really need to pay, like ASAP, was my car note. I was way behind on that. I was months behind on that. And it was at the point where it was in collections. And the next step is repossession. So I was trying to avoid that. So I said, I need to get a job because just manifesting enough money for this and enough money for that, you can't make it off of that. You can't live your life just, I hope I can manifest this and I hope I can manifest that for all your bills. You know what I'm saying? That can't be a job. That can't be income that you got to rely on all the time. So I said, I have to get a job. Even though I am doing social media, YouTube, of course, everything on the side, but that's all side hustles. It's not guaranteed money. So I had to get a dream job, and I had to get it fast or my car be repoed. I wouldn't have no lights on in this apartment, and I wouldn't have a cell phone, and my cell phone would be cut off. So I had a lot of things I need to pay for, and I need steady money to come in. So that's why I said to myself, let me go ahead and use the same method that I used to get the rent money. I can use this to get the car note money and pay my other bills. So I started using it. I said, I remember when my car note was paid and also all my other expenses. So I said that to myself every morning when I got up and every night before I went to bed. Also throughout the day, I wrote it down. I wrote it down in the morning, I wrote it down in the afternoon and in the evening. And I was doing that for days. Now, in my last video, I was able to manifest $1,008 within 5 days. Hopefully, I can manifest my car note within 5 days this time. Which car note was, at this time, my car note was behind like 3-4 months, so I needed like $800. So I did the technique. So as the days went by, nothing wasn't happening. Now, I was looking for a job because you got to put in the work. You can't just do the method and don't put in the work. So I was putting in the work by looking for a job every day, going online, even going to places that I found online that was hiring. I went up there, do it old school. Go up there and see if I can get an interview. So I was doing everything I can. And as the days went by, nothing wasn't working. I wasn't getting no phone calls or anything until one day someone called, said, I have this job for you. We need you to come for an interview. And the interview was the next day. I went for the interview. The job was maybe like $20 an hour, something like that. I'll say that's perfect. That'll be enough money to pay my car note and some other bills. So went to the interview. Interview seemed like it went well. And I got back home. A couple of days went by. No phone call, nothing. So I called them and they said, well, we found somebody else. So I said, okay. So I went back to the drawing board, looking for a job again. Still doing the technique. Nothing wasn't happening. Now, one day, I was going to my mailbox, and lo and behold, there was a letter from my auto finance company, the company that was financing my automobile. Got the letter, opened it up. My car was in collections, and it was about to get repoed. Oh my God. I said to myself, which you should never say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Never say that, guys. But I said that, I was like, oh man, what I'm gonna do? I gotta get a job. So since the I remember when method was not working, I just abandoned it. I went through the list. I went through Neville Goddard's list of manifestation techniques. I said, let me pick another one because this one is not working for me. So I went through the list and there was one that resonated with me, which is act as if. Now, if you don't know how that works, it's basically what it's saying. Act like you already have it. So like if you have a job already, your dream job, act like you already have it. Visualize yourself already having a job, but also do things that you would do when you have a job. So I said, let me go ahead and do that. So what I did, guys, I combined the I remember when with the act as if. So what I did, I wrote down, I remember when I had a job that paid for my car note and other expenses. So I wrote that down all the time. I wrote that down every day and every night. And I also woke up every morning and got ready for work like I already had a job. So I'll put on my clothes, go in my car and drive. But before I drive, I will visualize where I'm going. So I will visualize where I'm going. So I'll get in my car and just drive somewhere, and I'll come back later that day. Mind you, at the time, I kind of stopped looking for a job. I was just doing this. But never do that, guys. I always put in the work. But I really was putting in the work by acting as if. So that's why I say, guys, I got this job without even looking. Now let's get back to it. So every day I would get up, put on my clothes, do everything I need to do, brush my teeth, take a bath, shower, get in my car, visualize like I'm going to a building, and act like I already have a job. And then come back home, come in my house and say, whew, I had a good day at work today. And the last thing I would do before I go to bed at night, I would say, I remember when, and visualize me having a good day at the job. So I did that for 7 days. Now, the thing is, guys, in the letter that they sent me about repossessing my car, they was going to repossess it in 14 days. So I had really less than 14 days to get a job, because you know, when you start a job, they don't pay you the first week, they'll pay you in 2 weeks, especially if you're getting paid every week. So I kept doing the technique. And this is going to trip you out, guys. On the 7th day, because I did it for a week, I got an email. They're looking for somebody to fill this position, and the experience I have fit what they're looking for. And the job paid $22 an hour. So I calculated that and I said, whoa, this will be enough to pay my car note, which was like $800 something. So guys, they called me in for an interview. I went to the interview, seemed like everything went well. The person that interviewed me seemed like he liked everything I was saying. He didn't tell me you got the job or anything. He just said, we'll let you know. So the next day, they called me and said, you got the job. I was so relieved. I was so relieved, guys. So when he told me that, immediately I asked him, when will I get paid? You'll get paid your full check the week after. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, what I'm going to do here? I'm not going to have the money in time. So I went to the job, got the job, started it, and worked the whole week. Now on that 14th day, the auto finance company called and said, time is up. They're coming to get your car. I was like, oh man. And I told them, I said, I already have a job. I have a job. Can y'all give me one more week? Can you give me one more week? They was like, well, you already 4 or 5 months behind. We can't wait any longer. So they're coming. So they should be coming soon. And I just got off of work and everything. And I was like, oh man, how am I going to get to work? I'm going to have to start riding the bus or hitch a ride or something. So I just kind of waited. But while I was waiting, because I knew they was coming, and I prayed, meditated, and I just felt good about things. I was like, everything's going to work out for me. All is well. Everything's going to work out for me. So I said that to myself. Act as if I already had the car, that everything is working fine. And by the end of the day, they didn't come get my car. So I was like, what? What happened? Well, I mean, I was so happy, I was like, I really didn't care what happened. And I was like, should I call them or what? But they called me the next day and told me, we're going to give you 1 more week, sir. You have 1 more week. And I was like, any reason why y'all changed your mind? And the person just said, the manager said, will they give you 1 more week? I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happening. So I got paid end of the week. And the amount I got paid was $812. The money I had to pay for the car note was $800. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that ironic? Oh man. But anyway, guys, that's my story. And as far as my other expenses, when I got paid the following week, because I get paid every week, I had enough money to pay my light bill, pay my cell phone, and all the other expenses. I had loans I had to pay, you know what I'm saying? So everything's good. Everything's all good right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm still working at that job right now. So everything's all good. And it's because of the as if. And I'm going to start using that every time now. Whatever I want to manifest, I'm going to start using that. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the story. Hope I brought some value to you guys. I need you to do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. Drop a comment down below. I want to know what you guys got to say. Let me know if you've been in this position before and a miracle happened. Or let me know if you're in this position right now and you're going to try out the technique to see if it's going to work for you. Let me know in the comments, guys. And I just want to say thank you again for getting me over 100. Now let's get to 500. Goal is 1,000 subscribers. Let's get to 500 subscribers. We can do it, guys. We can do it. And on that note, peace, get woke, and keep manifesting.